know, nonstop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
It was great. You come in and the cupboard's not bare. So there's a lot of established players in this league who've been able to perform for a number of years. So it's really exciting as we're really evaluating all these guys right now and trying to get to know our roster first as well as we can leading up to the combine, the draft, all those types of things, and free agency.
All right, let the excitement begin. Comments from YouTube, the Monday edition, Judd and Declan, the combine, which was referred to right there, starts on Tuesday. And so we are about to enter a week full of what I think you can classify as some of the prime rib of reckless speculation. This is no BS, folks. This is going to get real and it's going to be spectacular. But before we get there, Dex, kick it off with some comments from our fine listeners and viewers who we appreciate, of course. Brought to you by Surly Brewing Company and also TCL. Enjoy more with TCL TV.
Yeah, it is our comments from YouTube edition. If you'd like your comment answered or read on a show, hit us up on this YouTube channel. You can also send us some feedback on the Score North app. The Score North app is a central hub for everything we do. Also, we have a little online auction going on if you want to go to Turtle Lake in Wisconsin. So if that's something you're interested in, it's the weekly auction. All you have to do is go to Score North and type in keyword auction. You can bid now on the ultimate stay and play package at St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake. The package includes a one-night stay at St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake Hotel, $20 in turtle bucks, and $25 in a food certificate as well. Check it out, scorenorth.com. Enter for your chance to win. Yes, our comments from YouTube here, Judd. A lot of reckless speculation on the quarterback position, hypothetical situations with Kellen Mond, Kirk Cousins, and of other things, and some Judd comments as well. You know, I always bring my Judd comments to wrap, and there's two that are good here. Actually, I want to start with this one from Cool Mad Mike. I tweeted this out as well because I think it's a hilarious and very accurate comparison. And as someone who loves me a fast food cheeseburger, this is pretty dead sped on, and a little bit of free advertising as well. Cool Mad Mike says Kirk Cousins is a double bacon cheeseburger at McDonald's. Sure, he might be the best thing on the menu, but 10 other teams are eating Wendy's Baconators across the street for less. What do you think of the cheeseburger analogy there from Cool Mad Mike on Kirk Cousins?
I like the name, Cool Mad Mike. Yeah, I mean, you can see it. You know what? You can see it however you choose to, but I think that that's probably true. And look, I think the question at the end of the day is this. No matter what food you compare Kirk to, the question becomes, are you going to get the bang for your buck from said food that you expect? And the answer is ordinarily no, unfortunately. It can be really good on Monday, but that doesn't mean if you go back and get it again on Tuesday, it's great. So I think that is apropos. I think that's fair. And I think we all agree that there is a lack of consistency with the Cousins meal that leaves us all wanting for more. How does that sound?
It does. It sounds pretty dang good. I love me a fast food cheeseburger, and I know what you mean. You go to your favorite spots, and you know what? Sometimes you overpay for the thing that you want,
right? Because
you like it a lot. But at the same time, you can get maybe a little bang for your buck.
But have you ever been to a place and you get the item that they're famous for, and it's outstanding, and you're like, I'm coming back. This is great. And then you go back, and it's not as good.
Yeah,
that's sort of Kirk.
It happens.
That's sort of Kirk.
It does happen. D Works wants to know, the 49ers aren't getting the offers they expected for Jimmy Garapolo. How do you think that this impacts Kirk Cousins' trade value?
Well, I don't know if it impacts him personally, because here's the thing. I believe that the 49ers are going to, at some point here in the coming months, make a run at a guy who I think wants to play for them. And yes, he announced that he is retiring, but so far, nobody can show me the official retirement papers from one Thomas Brady. So if Tom Brady weren't in this discussion, I would say, ooh, intriguing. And I threw this out a month and a half ago, is that I would be very interested in getting Kyle Shanahan, his favorite quarterback, i.e. Kirk Cousins, in a trade that might bring me Trey Lance back, because it's pretty clear that Trey Lance is not as far along as San Fran was hoping for. But I think the Brady dynamic here really changes things. And so I don't know that an issue with Garoppolo from that end is going to change things with Kirk. If I was a team personally, I think I would prefer Kirk to Garoppolo. And I don't, you know what? Garoppolo might just be done there. I don't know that there is a lot of teams clamoring. We've sort of seen Garoppolo. I don't mind him. He wins, but I don't want to pay a lot. Like Kirk, you would literally be banking on, I can get a year of Kirk at this salary or redo his contract, but I can fix all of the things that Zimmer and before him, Jay Gruden couldn't. Shanahan might have that trick. I don't know. But my personal opinion is I've seen enough of Kirk to know that he can't be fixed. Like he is Kirk. He is basically maxing out who he is right now. If you go back through his time with Washington first and then the Vikings. But yeah, I think San Francisco is probably going to look at Tom Brady at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if it has a huge impact. And they're also going to be waiting things out because if I believe the money's correct here, that if Jimmy Garapolo is cut, they don't owe him a ton of dead money. Like it's not going to handicap them like it would if you obviously cut Kirk Cousins or even Carson Wentz, who's potentially a cut candidate in Indy.
I would need to look, yeah.
Jimmy Garapolo only has, 1.4 in dead money.
So they can just release him.
They could just release him and save a boatload of coin, and that's where other teams are probably like, well, we'll just let you guys hang it out. You can find a sucker in the meantime, but in the meantime, we're just going to let you wait it out. So I can see why that's the case.
And I think that this comes down to, are they truly afraid that Trey Lance is not prepared to play yet? Because San Fran is in a win now. Like this is not we'll retool again. And so if Shanahan thinks that Trey Lance can't play and they pursue Brady and don't get him, they could turn back to Kirk at that point in time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know when that would transpire. But I do think that there's a real question of, if you plug Trey Lance in 2022, can he win immediately? And there seems to be at least a little bit of trepidation from the Niners side that the answer to the question is yes.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners have been to, 2 NFC championship games in the last 3 years. Yeah, they went in
they're in a win now.
4 years. Yeah, they've
no question about it.
Their roster's damn good. Their coach is good.
There's pressure.
There's pressure. Slow Sleeper says, and we actually talked about this on the back end of today's episode on Purple Daily as well. What if something could be worked out with the Colts and Cousins? Wentz and a Cousins swap with some kind of sorted in financials. What do you think of a potential Cousins and Wentz swap, Judd?
I'd have to see it. If I get a high draft pick back, and I reduce my cap hit a bit, but just to be extremely clear here, because I think when we explore this path of potential, that people aren't going to hear what we say exactly. I have no interest in Carson Wentz as a solution. Like, I don't want to go there. I'm not trying to imply that, replace Cousins with Carson Wentz and let's see what happens. If I can get a first or second round pick with Wentz, reduce my cap hit, and put up with a year of him, I guess I would. But I don't see either one of those guys as being the solution of like taking over the CEO role, right? Of being a quarterback here. So just to be clear, would I explore this and talk about it? Absolutely. Do I deem this to be a solution? Absolutely not. Carson Wentz, to me, I've seen him play. I was impressed at one time. That's a while ago now. What I saw from him with the Colts did not leave me thinking, well, because he's cheaper, he's the answer. I'm not thrilled with Kirk. I would be equally as unthrilled, if that's fair to say, with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz does absolutely nothing for me. In fact, I can make a case he makes dumber decisions than any quarterback in the league.
Well, he does. And Kirk doesn't make dumb decisions.
He doesn't.
He just doesn't make decisions.
Yeah, some of the decisions Carson Wentz makes are just baffling.
He threw a left-handed pass against the Titans from his own end zone. It got picked off.
Yeah, I'm out on Carson Wentz.
I don't disagree with you.
I'd seriously rather have Kirk. And I know this is a podcast that we are not in love with Kirk. We don't hate Kirk. I would take Kirk Cousins 8 days a week over Carson Wentz.
If I could do the math, if I could get a high draft pick and I could prove that Carson Wentz's presence in 2022 ultimately paid off for 23, I would do this. Mm-hmm. But I just want to be crystal clear here. I don't want either quarterback as my solution. I don't see them, Kirk either. So,
reckless speculation from King Retro 11 here.
I love King Retro 11.
Says, the more I think about what this team should do, I really think the best financial option would be to trade Kirk to the Panthers for Sam Darnold and the number 6 overall pick, and have Sam Darnold as that 2 to 4 week bridge QB and roll with Kellen Mond when he's ready. I think with this new regime, he'll be ready because he's a hard worker. And I saw a video where Kellen Mond was the first one on the field in training camp last year.
Yeah, that's true.
And
he worked hard.
Let's disclaim that, we talked about this idea. Actually, Mackie went on the Clubhouse in South Carolina to talk about, North Carolina? North Carolina. I should have known better than that. My brother lives there.
Flagship of the Panthers.
Flagship of the Panthers to discuss that idea.
Yep.
And we got pushback saying you actually would think Sam Darnold's an upgrade from Kirk Cousins and you'd move on for Sam Darnold. No, you'd move on for the 6th overall pick. And if that means Sam Darnold is hanging out for a couple weeks and has to start a game, that doesn't bug me. But what do you think though about the idea of a Sam Darnold, Kellen Mond type of pairing as you figure out what you have in Mond and also still try to build out for the future?
I don't give a crap. Who cares? You're not going to get the 6th pick in that trade. You're going to have to send 12 back. So it would be Cousins and 12 for Darnold and 6. I mean, 6 is a great pick. Like, I would jump on 6, but it's going to cost you more. And then
probably even another, like a future pick.
And then
right?
You told me the Panthers don't have a first rounder in the next 2 years after that. Is
they
that
don't
right?
have they don't have a 2nd or 3rd round pick in this year's draft.
That's what it is. Okay. Because I think that. So if it was I take back Darnold and I get 6 for Kirk, I mean, you're driving Kirk to Carolina. Like, you're literally sticking him in your car and driving him because that's such a good trade for you. It's not going to happen. That doesn't mean that you couldn't make a trade with the Panthers, and it does not mean that the Panthers would have no interest in Kirk because they did call. But that being said, that's pie in the sky. It would start with Darnold coming back to you to help the Panthers out with some relief on the salary cap. It would start with you having to send 12 and Kirk to Carolina, and you might get 6 back, and it might be expanded beyond that. But I just want to be clear here. Nobody, the biggest Kirk stands are not going to balk if Carolina said, we will send you the 6th pick and a bag of garbage. You take that trade in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And Pro Football Focus on Monday afternoon did a little mock draft, I think from PFF Steve Palazzolo, and he actually mocked Malik Willis to the Vikings at 12. Now, I think as the combine develops, pro days develop, and as we get close to the draft, Malik Willis is probably end up going to go before the 12th pick. But everything is fluid when it comes to scouting and quarterbacks and the combine and whatnot. But you would get that 6th overall pick with something very significant in mind that probably could be a quarterback. That could be a quarterback if you wanted that 6th overall pick.
Yeah, I just don't know that there's a rush there. This is why a potential Cousins to Carolina trade intrigues me because they do have a 1st round pick in 23, correct, X? The Panthers do?
Yes.
So I still think that I would, I'm sorry, I cannot get hung up on 22. It is what it is. I'm just this whole thing of, they should win. Just put that aside for a second and logically think this through. 2023 draft class supposed to have a better quarterback class. This is not a great one. And so if I could get a Carolina 1st round pick, and I don't care, just their 1st round pick, we have no idea right now where that pick might fall. It might be 6 again. It might be 26. But if I can get a 1st round pick from Carolina in 23, I'm going to have my 1st round pick. And now I can package things together to move up and potentially get a quarterback in that draft. That might be the play. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing about, you can get Malik Willis maybe. And, if the Vikings deem their guy to be there, that's great. I trust them because I don't know a thing about Kwesi and O'Connell as far as I don't trust them. That was Rick. That was Mike. That being said, this whole thing of let's get the quarterback now. That's how you got Christian Ponder. You got desperate. Mm-hmm. You got desperate. Don't be desperate. There's no need to be. Allow these guys, let's all back off here and allow these guys to do what they have to do to deconstruct things. And it's going to take months. It's not going to be done by draft day. They're going to want to see some veterans who they'll probably watch and say, he's gone, right? So this is a whole process. I just think with Kirk, to be very, very clear here, because I feel like when we go down this path, people misconstrue, mishear what we say. I don't want Kirk to get an extension, okay? So, I have no interest in extending Kirk. because extending Kirk to me is not going to give you the flexibility that in 6 months, oh my God, we shouldn't have extended Kirk. But I think if your quarterback is there in the 23 draft, because it's deeper at quarterback, that's awesome. Take that.
Yeah.
Like there's no big, we got to get Malik Willis and we got to play him in 22 because no, that doesn't exist. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, have the willingness and fortitude to take chances and take risks at finding the most important position, which is your franchise quarterback. But also don't be scared that you're going to draft the next Christian Ponder.
Right, but don't take a quarterback because...
And don't reach for it because...
Exactly.
Right, don't reach for it.
Do what you're comfortable with. You will never... Kwesi and O'Connell as well, but Kwesi especially. You will never again unless you get a second bite at the GM apple, which for the Vikings' sake, hopefully you don't need. You will never again have the blank canvas that you have right now.
Yeah.
Like this is the time to be like, oh no, you don't understand. The Wilfs can say whatever they want. I don't give a damn. It's their job to sell tickets. But in Kwesi's case, he is in that sweet spot, Dex, of, dude, do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. And people might get mad. Guess what? You're the new boss in town. You don't care.
Reckless speculation.
More reckless speculation from C-Man here in our YouTube comments. Yes, I said that correctly. It was the C.
Yeah, it's C, right?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay, just making sure. He's got a bridge quarterback idea here. He says, Tyrod Taylor, this is your gap quarterback, and if he balls out, you sign him along for the long haul. This dude has gotten the bleep end of the stick in Buffalo and in LA. Can you get a guy that can play with another fresh start, and he will play to his fullest potential to try to get a starting job and use capital from Kirk and other players traded to move away up next year and get a CJ Stroud, or for your cheapest best option, have a new franchise quarterback? What do you think about the idea of Tyrod Taylor as a potential bridge guy?
Tyrod Taylor, it seems to me, if I'm correct, is hurt quite a bit. But it's the type of idea I'm fine with, right? Like, who cares? Yes, that's fine. Replace Tyrod's name with Mariota's name.
Right.
Replace his name with somebody else's name. I want you to have an opportunity here to reconstruct your roster. So I don't really care how you do it. Mm-hmm. And the odds of one of these guys stepping in and like becoming Tannehill are probably very, very, very small. So yeah, I am all for retooling, reshaping, and getting the quarterback position. And with what like Kirk makes, what I don't think people get is it's not just about him. It's about what else can you do. Like if you could find a way when Kirk is gone to sign a cornerback, to sign a guard. Oh my God, and they're expensive, but it doesn't cripple you, right? Like that's what, so this is about getting a lot of things right. I'll always go back to it. The puzzle analogy. You have a puzzle that doesn't fit right now. A roster's a puzzle, and you got to fit the pieces. And right now, when you have an overriding huge piece in the middle that's unattractive, it takes away from the rest of the puzzle. So I don't care. Tyrod Taylor, Mariota, you pick your name of slappies who are going to be cheaper for a year at least. I'm fine with that. And hell, if they fail and go up in flames, guess what I get? Higher draft pick.
A couple more questions here to round out our comments from YouTube edition. But speaking of going up in flames, when things start getting a little stressful for you, Judd Zolgad, what beer do you turn to ease those flames and put out those fires?
Love where you're going. I love where you're going here because there's only one beer, and that, of course, is the beer of Judd. The beer of Judd. What is it? You know by now. Surly, and in particular, Surly Furious, the best IPA in town. That, my man, it cools me off. Okay, It's funny because its name is Furious, but it does the opposite. It relaxes me. It cools me off. When I am crunching rosters, when I am going through over the cap, right? And I'm saying, these over the cap. Oh my God, what are the Vikings going to? I'm so upset. Glug, 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 glug. Refreshing, tasty, the best. Surly. And you know what? Just because I am a Furious fan, Declan, you can speak to the rest of the Surly Brewing family, which we all know is outstanding. Like you mix things in too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? And it might not be the same as me, but the one thing that's consistent, it's all Surly.
Surly Furious, the Rosé, the
You like the
Time
rosé?
Warp. There's exclusive beers just at the tap room. I think that's what I like the most.
Yeah, you're right.
So go check out the
The
tap room.
rosé, the wife loved that.
I don't even like wine. I despise wine, to be completely honest. But the
you
rosé
like the
beer, the
rosé?
rosé infused beer, I'm
Little
all about
pizza?
it. I'm all about it.
Little pizza upstairs at Surly?
Absolutely. There's a lot of
like where you're going.
lot going there.
Like where you're going.
A few more here. Shane says, I don't think you're going to like this one, Judd. He says, you extend Harrison Smith, Adam Thielen, Daniil, and Eric Kendricks. All great Vikings players that were underutilized by the previous regime. Vikings, Kirk equals Super Bowl expectations. Without Kirk, just send Dalvin and Jefferson away now. And as Judd covers up his eyes in
You know what?
in grief and disappointment.
Is it Shane?
Shane, yes, go on.
I appreciate Shane.
Okay.
I appreciate his passion. It's a passion. Not going to question. You know what, Shane? I want to tell you this. You have a passion for the purple. You've got a passion for this team, and that's great. Let's cheers a virtual Surly. That's right. I want to cheers because we might not agree. We might have polar opposite views of the roster construction of this team. But the one thing that we can agree on is we're enjoying it both with a virtual Surly beer.
Yes, that is important to do.
How about
Very
that?
important to do. Let's enjoy, regardless of
How
how
about
we
that
feel
for being
about.
a diplomatic
There
answer?
you go. Yeah.
You know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate every fan out there.
Look, we had some Vikings fans with us at Surly a few weeks ago. Did they all agree with everything we say? No.
A lot of them don't, and they should.
Yeah, we just had a nice little discourse. Some beers around.
Beers. We had
Friends
some apps.
friends were had. Significant others were brought with. It was a family.
It was
a
great.
family of Purple Daily audience. And yes, have a Surly. How about that? Have a Surly. All right, a couple Judd comments here. Zolgad.
Yes, sir.
From your Friday. Remember our Friday edition from 4 Question Friday where we talked about chores we did not like?
Oh, yeah.
So Vernon actually commends you and says, Judd is a champion. His laundry habit is a true caveman lifestyle and with all trophy emojis. So he actually applauds
thank you.
what you do with your laundry of not folding it and just keeping it in the basket.
Right by my computer where I do the show. I thank you very much.
And Cole says, Judd doesn't like the outdoors because there is a higher % chance of running into people and having to start a conversation.
You know what? I'll say this because that's partially true. It's a higher probability of running into people I have nothing in common with, and that's worse. Like I feel like if I'm at Surly, right? That was great.
Yeah, you like that.
And
That's your comfort zone.
I enjoyed our conversations, right? Like there was never a point in that evening where I was uncomfortable or felt I can't stand these people. I enjoyed them. They were great. It was fantastic. But outdoors, yeah, I think he's right. Like I think outdoor. Hey Judd, what's going on? Are you enjoying the fresh air? No, I don't want to be out in the fresh air. So I think he's spot on about where it would be. I feel like in a bar, for the most part, it's fine.
Yeah.
Outdoors, tents in play,
Yeah.
I would hate it.
Yeah. No, I feel
I don't
ya.
like the outdoors.
Yeah, no,
See?
there's certain areas too where you're not
And you don't
comfortable.
like them either. So let's cut to the
I
that's
don't
not
really
just
like
a
the outdoors.
Phil goes hiking with
No.
his wife.
I like doing the things that. All right, perfect to your point. I like doing the things I like in the outdoors. So I like walks. I'll go on walks. I love
but you're not
walks.
going hiking.
Not going hiking. There's a
you
very
go
big
walking
difference
around your
in my
house.
metropolitan area.
Right, that's totally
Huge
different.
difference.
Totally different.
I like snowboarding. I enjoy snowboarding.
Yeah, not me.
But that's an activity.
Yeah, I'm not a snowboarder.
That's fine. I like doing that.
Yep.
But there's things
But
I
you would
also
never
don't.
go hiking.
No, I wouldn't openly
Like you
do
wouldn't
it.
drive to
I'd
like
have to be convinced.
Wisconsin and then be like, I'm going to go.
If I was on
Stillwater.
vacation and they were like, "We're going to go on a hike today," I'd be like, "Oh, okay." Like
Would
I'm
you?
not.
I think
I
I'd be
wouldn't
like,
be.
I'm going to sleep in.
It depends. Well, I guess yeah. And then what time are we waking up and where are we going? Yeah, said this is all relevant. stuff.
Here's my thought on outdoors. If you're going to go outdoors, and first of all, I don't camp, okay? Now in the 90s, we did stay at Gull Lake with some friends in cabins, but, basically houses.
Yeah.
As long as the Surly's involved, I'm cool. But if it's like, we're going to go exploring, I'm like, I'm totally out.
No. Yeah. No. Give me a
So,
lawn
like-
chair and a beer and I'm good.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But like,
Campfire maybe.
here's one thing that might be surprising. Pontoon, beer in play.
Oh yeah. No, I'm in on that.
I'm in.
But tubing, no way.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
not going in the water.
And
But the
I
boat,
just-
I'm in on the boat.
I tried to I don't think I've ever tubed before. In high school, I tried water skiing once,
Oh,
but
my
the
God.
boat wasn't powerful enough.
Yeah,
I
that's
literally
important.
could not pull myself up.
Yeah, you got to have a strong enough boat.
It was a weak boat, but my
Yep.
point is, never again.
Yeah, never again.
Complete waste of time.
Can't do that.
And tubing, if you want to tube with me and I'm in the boat, no judgment. But you're right. No tubing. But there can't be anything worse than let's go explore. Like, now, if that involves a bar, yeah, I'm in. I'm in, baby.
Let's do
right?
it.
But if it's like, Dex, let's go explore the town and let's go hiking. No, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out on that as too. I'm out on that.
All right.
All right. Well, that does it for our comments from YouTube edition.
Thank you.
It's NFL Combine week, and so we're kind of at the mercy of any breaking news and our delicious shrimp cocktail, pun intended, of appetizers that will be on
St.
display
Elmo's, baby.
from St. Elmo's and Indy.
Look it up.
We'll have plenty of Vikings content coming at you this week. Alex Boone's back. We got Alex Boone back tomorrow as well. So that's our buddy Alex Boone. The bleep button will be ready there. Hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel for daily Minnesota Vikings entertainment. We'll be talking to you soon.